video, sort of, I had an idea in my head and then it changes. But it's all right. I show you the beginning all the way through to the end, so it's all good. Now, I wanted to have a quick word with everybody. I have been doing some long, hard thinking over the last week or so, couple of weeks, and I think I want to change one thing. I will still be doing 6 videos a week. I will still bring you all the content. Not a problem. All of that. The format of everything is not going to change. But what I want to change is this. When I load up the videos, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to number the videos and I'll put a date on them. So you'll be able to go, okay, I know I watched that in July. Okay, so you will see July's videos. Because I think it's getting really difficult. I think I've created a monster in the sense that I've created all these little sub playlists and I'm just going to leave everything exactly where it is, right? But I'm going to simplify what I'm doing. So instead of calling things power scraps and all that sort of thing, I think it might be easier if I number my layouts so you know what the layouts are by number. You know, it might be something that you go, okay, hang on. Hang on, you tell me, do you want me to just number them from the 1st of June onwards, number them and sort of do them, you know, video 1 from whatever? Or would you prefer me to break it down into months? Because I think it's something that will simplify the other side of the social media side of things. Let me know what you think. I'm not sure. I'm just snowballing at this stage and just sort of grabbing some ideas and running with a few things. But I think that would make life a lot easier, especially for when you want to go back and see a video. I think that would make things easier. Now, as you can see, this is actually a stone stencil. And I'm using 3 different distress oxide colours. I'm using mustard seed, wild honey, and gathered twigs. Because my daughter's wearing a onesie and it's a giraffe onesie. And I thought, you know what, I could probably make these cobblestones look a bit like giraffe. I reckon I could do that. But don't make it too dark, you know, sort of cartoon looking. So I have sprayed the back of my stencil with some light adhesive, which I use the Crafter's Choice one. And that way I'm able to put it down and it holds exactly where I want it to be, doesn't move, and it's all good. Now, I've decided this particular title I have pulled from the CRICUT design space. It is a BECK McCormick cut file. And yeah, I apologize. My dogs are barking. Someone's obviously just knocked on the door. It is 7:47 at night and someone's knocking on the door. So yeah, so I just wanted to let you know where I got that cut file from, because that is something that a few people have asked where I've got cut files from. Is it one that I've just made up myself? Blah, blah, blah. And this one, so what I'm now doing is I'm going to try and make sure that I always remember to write down where I get the cut file from. So Beck McCormick, it's her cut file in CRICUT Design Space. Now, back to what I was talking about. I'm just ink blending these. I'm just adding a little bit of colour using the same colour on colour on colour. So I'm not introducing extra things. What I'm trying to show you with this layout is, even if you can only afford to buy a couple of colours, you may sort of sit back, you might be like me and you've got an allowance that you can say, okay, I can justify spending that much a month. If that's the case, if you grab a couple of colours, like you look at these colours, I could use that for the giraffe, like I'm doing here. You could do a beautiful sunset with the orange and the yellow. You could do candy corn, you know, like in America, you guys have that candy corn stuff during, what's that for? In October, what's it called? Halloween. I have tried the candy corn, and I've got to tell you guys, I don't know how you eat it. We have the lollies that we have out here. You guys call it candy. It tastes completely different. It really does. And yeah, I don't know. I look at it sometimes and I'm just like, oh, yuck. I did try it. I gave it a good crack and it was like, nah, can't eat it. It was horrible. That's my opinion. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot the messenger. So as you can see, I'm just adding my title on here. I did create an offset for it because I love me an offset. Works a treat for me. I love it. So once you very messily add your ink to it and then you put your title over onto its offset, it looks completely different. It just transforms it. It looks awesome. So I did glue the title down as opposed to, you know, using the tape runner. I did do that the other day and on the other bit, and yeah, just something different. It's all good. So here I am just removing it. It was the other thing I wanted to let you know. I've had a few people asking me, their CRICUT has been like mine and been really temperamental and not cut properly and all that. Now, watch and learn here, guys. I'm about to completely change this entire look. So this is where I was going. That's what I had in my head. And I hate it. I don't like it one bit. Not one bit. But I've just put all that effort into, see the finger tapping? And I just put all that effort in and I didn't like it at all. So don't cry because it looks really good in the end. Stick with me. This is what I mean, guys. Good, the bad, and the ugly. We all have processes, and sometimes the processes come smoothly and flow and just work. And then there's sometimes the process needs to, it's like a fresh loaf of bread. You've turned your dough out and you need to smack the hell out of it to get it to come back together again to be a nice fluffy loaf. It's like that. You know, sometimes we sit down with our scrapbook layouts and they don't look right. In my head, I wanted to just go helter-skelter with mixed media today. That's what I wanted to do this morning. I just wanted everything mixed media. And I got to tell you, it wasn't doing it for me. It just wasn't. And I don't know. And the other thing that bugged me with this is actually one of the Vicky Bouton foundations papers. So I didn't even use mixed media on it. All I did was put some ink on it. And I've wasted one of those sheets. Like, it was one of those mornings. So it's okay. See, the title like that, it pops, it looks great. But when it was over the top of the giraffe, it didn't look right. It didn't pop. It didn't have that look to it. So I am going along and I'm still thinking at this point, and I'm going along and I'm just defining the edges so you can see that it's sort of more defines the strips. Because I think that's where the direction that I want to go. I think this is going to work. Trust me, guys, it does work. I can tell you because I know, because I've done it, and it does work. But as I say, just trust the process. You don't have to throw it away. Trust me, it will come back. It's like a rubber band. You can stretch it out 15 times, but it will still bounce back. Sometimes it snaps, but it's still flexible. So I have to say congratulations to our couple of gift card giveaway winners. One was Gail and one was Kristen. It's all right. I've got Kirstens and Kristens and Christines and Christinas and Chrissies. So just throwing it out there. I get a little confused sometimes. I mean, I used to do childcare, right? 18 years childcare, you know, that's my crazy path that I took down my life. And I've got to tell you, names. I can look at a face, I can see a face, I recognize a face, but do you think I can remember names? I am useless at names. I've actually tried, and this is something a little bit funny. I know Cass is super busy, so she probably won't even be looking at my videos, but funny story. I actually I've clued on to Cass and Jacques when they're unboxing some of their stock sometimes. Cass will have a bit of a joke and get Jacques to see if he can remember the name of the, it might be liquid pearls, what's the name of this one, and all like ballerina, or I've got some sitting next to me, so I'm just prattling off some names, platinum pearl, whatever. Anyway, long story later, so I was having myself a bit of a moment, and so I've actually been trying to do that myself on here. It's just something I've been trying to do, and yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but it's something I've been trying to get myself to do to try and help I don't know if you guys do this, but my brain sometimes, it just doesn't want to work. It just doesn't want to. It just gives up the ghost. So you can see what I'm doing here. I am literally converting this into strips so they look more like giraffe planks. And it comes together. It actually works quite nice. I don't know how I did that. Can you see what I did there? I don't know what I did. So I even make this process look hard. It was one of those moments today. I just wasn't... I was here. I was in here. I had done so many like admin things in the morning. And by the time I got around to creating, it was kind of like I needed to realign myself and sort of get back to what I was doing. And I really wanted to just play with everything today. Sometimes I come into the craft room, don't know if you guys are like this, but sometimes I come into the craft room and I just want to play and touch and smell and muck around with everything. And then other times I come in here and all I want to touch is paper. That's it, just paper. I don't want all the technical stuff. I just want papers and patterns, and that's it. So today I really did want to go ahead and play with everything, but it didn't end up being that way. So, and that's all good. That's all good. What am I watching at the moment? Let's have a look at that. That is something that is interesting. I was watching what was it? Let me grab my iPad whilst this is happening, and I'll make sure that nothing's going to pop up, because I was listening to quite a controversial person, and I wanted to know, okay, we're going to go down a little squirrel moment. I'm just putting planks together, guys. Trust me, it works a treat. Hang on, what's going on? There I am. Okay. Oh, I just thought I thought the video stopped then. It's okay. It didn't stop. Trust me, it's fine. Squirrel. So, do you guys ever sort of hear all the furor around somebody, or all the hoopla, however you want to describe it? Do you ever hear it all and then think, I want to investigate that for myself? I wonder if it's really that bad, or if it's that full on. I'm not talking stuff like Harry and Meghan, like, you know what? I'm not talking that sort of stuff. I'm talking, real life things. Well, I've sort of accidentally somehow clicked on I'm going to say she's controversial. I'm going to not get it to start playing. But I don't even know how to pronounce her name. Name is Marla. Amala. It's not Amala. I know that. Amala. Amala, I don't know. I'm butchering it really badly. But I've been listening to some of her stuff and trying to sort of understand different sides of different people, and that side that actually really interests me, believe it or not. That's something that I don't think I could emotionally cope with being a shrink, but at the same time, psychology really interests me. And sorry, I had to move my chair, sorry about that. Yeah, and I've sort of been going down this podcast route, and I have not gone near the Joe Rogans. I've not gone down that path. I've just touching on some different people and just sort of going, are they as bad as what they're being portrayed in? Are they really as controversial as people are leading us to believe? Now, if you've got anyone that you reckon I should listen to get, I am not in any way, shape or form, I am not racist. I am not, I have no issues with anything. I am an open book, and I have no issues with, the whole trans thing. I have no issues with LGBTQ plus, like the whole deal. I have no issue with any of that stuff. So if there's anyone you reckon I should listen to, whether they have a podcast or whether they have a YouTube channel, I'd be really interested if you guys could let me know. Maybe I do love me a bit of true crime. I have been going down that path, and I do love me the old spiritual side of things to listen to while I'm scrapping. I know that sounds a little weird, but we all have our things, right? So I quite often find when I'm trying to be really creative, I can't watch people creating. That is so weird, isn't it? I've just heard that outside my head and realised how weird that is. You would think it would go the other way, but no, it doesn't. So this is just so I do this all the time to make sure that the colours all match. I just use my Distress Oxides just so I know that the colour's going to match. If I go over and grab a brown cardstock, I can guarantee you it's not going to match perfectly. Doing it like this, I know it's going to match. Now I do use a little bit of glue on there, a bit of tape and a little bit of glue, purely and simply because I want to make sure that it sticks down and stays down, and because it is over the oxide, I just wanted to make sure that it stays and it doesn't come off. So clean up my mess a little bit there. Can you see the Nuvo paste is still all over my bench, all over my mat? I swear it is there for life. I cannot get it off. It has glued down. I don't know what sort of glue they use in that Nuvo stuff, but wow. It is not coming off. And you know what? It's my own stupid fault because I was just slapping it around like it was free. And yeah, it was crazy. So what else have I been watching? Temu hauls. Let's discuss Temu hauls. Who has been watching them? Who is engrossed in them? And who is purchasing from Temu? Who has? Who wants to? And who thinks that they might? All those sort of questions, chucking it all out there. This video is very question orientated. I want you guys to, I want to interact with you more when it comes to my videos. So that is something that I will be trying to make a conscious decision on, and I will be making the effort to try and, instead of me just telling you, I don't want to just be me feeding you information and telling you stuff. I don't want to be bleating at you. I want this to be a two-way street. So the other thing I do want to mention is the Crazy Class kits are up and available for the next class, which will be happening in June. So if you're wanting to join in with the class and you're in Australia or New Zealand, you can purchase the kits through the Crazy Craft Obsession website, which there is a link in the description to go and get that. And if you're a part of the Facebook group, you will notice that it's pinned at the top. So if you are from overseas and you want to play along with the next kit, you most likely can, because this time what we decided to do was I've gone with the Cocoa Vanilla Happy Days A5 papers, the paper pad. So because it's a nice new collection, you should be able to get your hands on it quite easily. So yeah, I didn't like that white strip down the center there. I was gonna leave it there, but then I didn't want to, yeah, it didn't look right. So as you can see, so I've put my heavy pattern down the right hand side. I have done some ink blending, just very rough ink blending over on the left hand side, and it gives me all the color, it gives me all the bold color that I want, but it allows you to focus more on the title rather than just being pattern on pattern on pattern. So can you see how it saved it by dividing it in half? So that's a super simple, I did not create this concept of going 50-50 with your paper. This is a simple blocking technique, and it can be done with just papers. You don't have to create strips like that. You might have some pretty papers that you want to use. Now, I did want to use these sequins that I've just bought from Crazy Craft Obsession, and they are the Shimmers Paints collection, and I wanted to use them, but then realized, you know what? Stop. You know what? It actually stopped. It doesn't need glitter shiny bits. This layout is actually screaming, let's just stop there. So I did. So that was it, guys. That was my layout. After all that fuddy-duddying around, this is how it looks. So let me know what you think. Any of the questions that I've chucked out there, if you've got any answers for me or ideas, please, by all means, chuck it my way, and I will get those messages sometime tomorrow, and I will start working on things, make decisions and all that sort of fun stuff. Fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and I will be back and I will chat with you tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.